Hello and welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 116. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who went to the beach in his new swimwear. He's not a massive Nintendo fan, but he wanted to show off his donkey thong. It's only bloody Dan.
Hello.
Hey, that was good. Dan, wasted. I'm wasted here. How are you, Sunshine?
Yeah, I'm feeling slightly worse for the wear now that you've said
What is the matter? Why?
It's just shit.
Oh man, what would you have gone with?
Funny. A funny joke, probably.
Well, I'll do something extravagant for the next one.
Please do. I want the effort next time.
I'll do a magic trick or something. Right. We have no news, Dan.
No?
Well, we do, but we only have one bit of news because it's a bit digestible. It's something you can munch on for a while.
Can I guess what it is then, if that's the case?
Yeah, you can probably guess.
I'm fairly sure I know what it is.
Yeah.
EA!
Pretty much, yeah.
Battlefront 2, microtransactions, and all the gumph that goes along with it.
Mostly loot boxes rather than the old micros, but pretty much, yeah.
It's all tied up in the same nonsense.
Yeah, it's all nonsense and stupid. A US legislator has described the video game Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a Star Wars themed online casino, and has said he will seek legislation action that will prohibit sales of games to underage players that feature loot box mechanics. So we had a brief discussion about this the other day.
Yep.
Not as it was happening, but shortly after it happened. And essentially, I've kind of changed my tune a little bit. After I was looking at a few articles from developers and like their point of view for it, and I do kind of understand. We'll delve more into that, but again, EA is the one that then fucks it up again.
Yeah.
But essentially, a developer had come out and said, you go back to the 90s, you were paying like 50, 60 quid for a cartridge, like a brand new release. Because cartridges were so expensive, you was paying 50 to 60 quid on a cartridge. But obviously the games they didn't cost as much to make, and obviously they're not as good as they are these days in practice. But games have gotten more expensive to make, and they still cost £60. So people are using in-game mechanics to make their money back, kind of thing. And I agree to an extent, because the game sales prices haven't necessarily changed, with the exception of like the deluxe edition and the founders boxes and all this stuff. But at the same time, with the exception of Rockstar and Naughty Dog, they know they can spend a lot of money on getting really good voice acting and top line in-game like game engines and all this stuff, because they know they're going to get the turnaround on the first week. And they're going to make the money back, hence why there's no real microtransactions in there, with the exception of shark cards on GTA. But when you're just chugging out Call of Duty every year, and it's the same game, but you're still spending a shit ton of money on it, you're going to lose money if you don't put them microtransactions in it.
Then maybe there should be the option for, you know, you mentioned like the Game of the Year edition, or your Ultimate edition, or your Digital Deluxe edition, or whatever, that's, you know, an extra 20, 30, 40 quid on top of the price. If you're spending that much, then as far as I'm concerned, you've given them all you should give them. So if they say, if you want to buy the, you know, the extra super premium deluxe edition of Star Wars Battlefront 2, not because that's just the most recently controversial, just literally off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Because I know that they did do like a deluxe version of that anyway. You know, we're not talking sort of like limited edition ones, or like, you know, the statues or books and things, because obviously you're paying for that content as well. Yeah. But, you know, you'll get like a season pass for all the DLC. You know, you might get a few extra days on the beta, or you might unlock it a few days earlier than everybody else, or something like that. So if you've bought the most expensive top of the line one that they sell, then as far as I'm concerned, things like microtransactions or purchasable currency for the game or something like that shouldn't be an issue.
No.
And say, okay, well, you paid us literally as much as we can physically charge for this, and you've paid your lot, which means that as far as we're concerned, everything we have will go to you. So if you're spending 40 quid, or give it a couple of months, 20 quid maybe, 25, depending on what it is and its popularity, then things like optional purchasable loot boxes or whatever, battle packs, then you still have to pay for those.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and you'll pay a little bit more overall.
Yeah, but again, it's an option too, which means, because I really don't appreciate, and I never would, but I can sympathise with those who do.
Yeah.
They can go Battlefront 2, I'll spend 120 quid, I'll get all the DLC before it's released. Bear in mind, they've played a beta for this so far.
Yeah.
That's it. And they've dropped 120 quid on it. That's a lot, for sort of average Joes. And then they say, okay, but if you actually want to be able to play the game well, it will cost you more.
Yeah.
In either your precious time or your money. And if you've already spent that much on it in the first place, I even though I get their argument, I just don't think it's okay.
I don't, and because obviously all this started with not yours, but with in-game transactions on free mobile phone games, and obviously I imagine that to some degree that stemmed from like online MMOs and stuff where you could pay real money to I don't know how it works in MMOs, but
it's mainly aesthetics in MMOs more than anything.
Yeah, so you're paying for a new hat or a new thing, whatever.
Yeah.
If the game's free, I don't mind there being microtransactions
Absolutely.
in there.
Absolutely. They've got to make the money.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
makes sense. I'm not saying I'll go out and buy it. Like everything, like at least mobile phone wise, I use Google reward points, so I've never actually physically spent any real money on any games.
Absolutely.
If I hadn't got the option to do that, I probably wouldn't purchase the stuff, and I probably wouldn't play as many really heavy hitting microtransactions. I mean, I remember playing Simpsons Tapped Out, and you literally had to wait like hours and up to a day and stuff like that in order to be able to do anything else. Like once you'd finished everything that you could do on that day, without using money to buy stuff to speed up the process. It's like I ain't fucking doing this.
Yeah, of course.
But would you be happy if they turn around and say, right, we've decided we can't keep selling games at a loss, from their particular words. But if they turn around and did your idea where they said, we've got like this is the big version and you get everything included, but it's going to be, games are going to go up to 90 quid. Would you be happy with that?
No.
No, neither would I.
No, because you can't just release that and just say, okay, well, the thing is, like the point of loot boxes and stuff is that it's you have a chance, you have a rare chance in finding something super sweet, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to spend 120 quid on a super premium awesome deluxe edition, and then he said, okay, well, you don't have to pay for anything, we're just going to take that function out of the game for you. So
yeah.
But that means you'd either need all of the content that is in these loot boxes, or you paid your 120 quid for it and you've still got only a random chance of getting it, because then you're just sort of like, well, okay, but if I want this sweet proton laser beam rifle, I've got as much chance as anybody else. It's just that I have to work the same as everybody else in order to get the loot box, in order to get the random chance.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's taken away is that I don't have to pay for the loot boxes. So it's sort of a vicious circle, really, because if you want people to have to work for the advantage, then the only thing you can really do is what MMOs do, which is when you level up your character and you unlock more stuff that you can do or wear or use or abilities or whatever, like the higher you go, which means that it's the more time and effort that you put into it, and the better you start to play, the more advanced stuff you could unlock. So, you know, if you play World of Warcraft, for example, or because I play quite a few MMOs, and everything is always level restricted. So you can't just have a level 48 lightsaber just as you started playing the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Because that's just ridiculous. You know, you'd be overpowered immediately. But for something like Battlefront or Battlefield or Call of Duty, you know, these loot boxes and things, they contain, you know, a slight chance of unlocking something pretty cool. So, you know, it's got to be the same for everybody. You know, if everyone's just working off random chance, then you shouldn't be able to pay to have more random chance than somebody else.
Well, it doesn't help that they'd come out and said you'll get all the DLC for Battlefront 2 will be free, and everyone's like, excellent, nice one. And they went, but instead of charging you for that, we're going to throw some loot boxes in there instead.
Yeah, so it just depends on how hard. I mean, this is the biggest issue really, is that to play like some of the major characters, the major heroes. It was like initially it was like 70,000 credits in order to unlock like top level characters. That's Luke, that's Vader, and those kind of people. And if you're playing averagely well, you know, you get a few hundred credits a match maybe.
Yeah.
So you're talking dozens, if not hundreds of hours to be able to save up enough credits to unlock Vader or Luke.
I think when that guy on Reddit worked it out, I think it worked out at like 40 hours or something like that.
Yeah, which is mad, just to get one character that you can't even just play as. You've
You've
got to then get enough
it.
points in the match in order to be able to play as him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, each match is going to last like 10 minutes or so.
Well, that's the thing. You could even if you were good enough to unlock it, there's still a good possibility you could literally spawn and get killed instantly, and then you've got to just select another trooper or another clone or whatever.
But also if someone else is using Vader, you can't be Vader. So you could have the whole match of just going, okay, well, and plus, you know, because the hero characters are so powerful, obviously they have to be, but because people, they will, as soon as they become a hero character, if they've been playing it long enough, they can't be killed as that hero character, which means that whilst they're that hero character, nobody else can be. So you could have spent your 45 hours getting to your first match, having unlocked Darth Vader. Some bellend like grinds for a bunch of easy points straight away, unlocks Vader, drops in as him, and then spends the whole match as him, and you can't play as him
unless they get taken out.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. If you look at pretty much, well, most I'd say, sort of like leaderboards, not leaderboards, you know, kind of like the after battle reports for Battlefront, unless they're either trying to win challenges or something, you know, the people who have got like a hero character will usually like dominate that, so their picture will be up there like 4 times for like, you know, longest surviving, most damage dealt, most kills, most points earned, or whatever. So whilst they've been that character the whole time, then nobody else can be. And it's just sort of like, well, that's a bit of a piss take, really.
Well, one of Vader's like specials on Battlefront 2 is like for a brief period of time he's pretty much invincible.
Right.
So if he is getting if it's a good player, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to take him out unless they nerf him.
Yeah.
Which I can see happening.
But then if you do, then the most powerful character that you spent all that time or money to get to isn't as powerful as Jyn Erso.
Well, they've dropped it anyway now. I know it's is it 15?
15 it is now. Yeah, that's right. So I mean, it's a much more achievable goal, but
it's easily done.
Yeah, well, not easily, but
well,
you don't necessarily have to come as like MVP every single round.
No.
You know, in order to get them.
Plus, you can go through these points. Like if you're doing a lot of the actual objectives and stuff, you get a lot more points. And if you stay with your team and that, unless they've changed it since the beta, but if you stayed with your team, you got a lot of points for that, and you obviously assists and like completing objectives. So, I mean, I managed to unlock quite a couple of hero characters during the beta. But you didn't have such luck, did you?
I played as a Wookiee a couple of times, not Chewie, just a random Wookiee,
Yeah.
which I like. Again, from Battlefront 2, they were just sort of like tank units, basically.
Yeah.
You know, they could just dish out the damage and take a beating. The only actual hero that I got to play as was Poe Dameron in his X-Fighter. X-Wing.
X-Wing.
And because I really do still enjoy the Star battles. So I was doing some of the Starfighter battles and was doing incredibly well. Unlocked Poe's... Poe's X-Wing came up, and then I was flying around as Poe. I think I crashed, which really annoyed me. But it was awesome just flying around as Poe for a bit. But that's like with the beta though, you didn't have to use credits in order to unlock it, in order to get it in the game. I mean, I think I'd much prefer it if, you know, all the sort of the loot boxes and things were just dropping like power-ups for your, you know, so you got a 20% quicker reload or cooldown rate or something like that. But all the heroes were all unlocked.
Yeah.
So it was whoever was performing the best could choose the character that they wanted to be.
Oh no,
And
you had to use credits.
No, you used your points, your battle points earned from that
Oh
match.
yeah, battle points. Yeah, sorry. No,
But
yeah,
you didn't have to
Yeah.
use the credits in order to unlock it, in order to then unlock it once you've got enough points in a particular match. So if they just said, oh, you can just play all of them, but you can only have one at a time. So you can only have one person as Luke, you can only have one person as Vader, and one person as Han. So as long as you were just doing the game and getting the points, then everyone has the chance to be the hero that they want to be, and not just because that they've
Not the one they deserve.
yeah, but not because that they've, you know, grind for 50 hours just to unlock Vader and then get the odd chance to play as him.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's just, I don't know, that when you start talking about these sort of things, I kind of lose the fun out of it, because I'm just sort of like, I just, you know, and no one wants to be a stormtrooper for fuck's sake, but you know that you play your stormtrooper, you play the game, you do well, you work with your team, you res. Well, there's no healers, but you know, in all these kind of situations, you know, in Battlefield or whatever, you're playing together and you
Have fun.
yeah, you enjoy yourself. But I don't want the sort of the, God, well, I need to get this flag and then I can get another flag, and then as long as I don't die in between and get a couple of kills,
Yeah.
then I can be a rocket trooper.
Yeah.
And then I'll actually start enjoying myself. And that's to me, it's just sort of like, well, surely the whole thing should just be fun, you know. But if you are playing seriously, then you say, well, you're doing really well in this. You can be Lando.
Yeah. And just actually give a bit of a, I don't know, an incentive to actually want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, in a way,
you've got to.
The token thing, the pickups from the first Battlefront, the previous Battlefront, where you'd find a token on the battlefield, and that was enough to. Obviously, there's problems with that because people will just wait for it to respawn, and it's just like, no, play the game for fuck's sake. Or like, I think I can't remember. So you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but with the original Battlefronts, it was like basically whoever was the MVP, it would come up and say, "Do you want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi?"
Yeah.
Or do you want to be Darth Maul or Yoda or something like that?
I think it was that.
It was something like that.
Since I played it.
But it was just random. It would just say, you know, you've got the most kills or you've got the most score or something like that anyway, and that was enough. And it would come up and just say, you've got the option to now press F1 and to be Obi-Wan Kenobi or Mace Windu.
Yeah.
And that. But that's the thing, that was such a compelling game. So you still would have paid your 40 quid, your 45 quid for it, whatever. But you had the Galactic campaign. You had all the eras that were around at the time of Star Wars. You had all the heroes. You had the multiplayer. You could just go back, and I still go back and play Galactic Conquest for fuck's sake. And, you know, all of this sort of content and everything, and there was no walls for anything. It was just, you just enjoy yourself and you just play the game. And all of that just seems to be lost because there has to be money in it.
Yeah, from a financial point of view and a business, I 100% understand what they're doing, why they're doing it. But I I've never agreed with having any form of microtransaction in a AAA game that I've just spent like £60 on. But it's also the same with like day one DLC, pre-order and get this day one DLC. If it's day one, during the fucking game, give it me for free.
Yeah.
Why have I got to pre-order it to get it? And it's stuff like this that really winds me up with. I'm not going to just call out publishers and developers, but it is always the EAs and your Activision and Ubisoft. It's a lot of the big name ones, and I mean pretty much everyone seems to do it now. I mean, I remember, was it Rick that got the Metal Gear Solid, where he got Snake's arm?
Oh no, it was my mate Andy.
Sorry, and it was nowhere near as good as it seemed on the pictures.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just it wasn't a full-sized arm. It was just sort of made out of a light plastic. It wasn't made of metal. I mean, all the fingers and things were movable. It was opposable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just seems that for however much he spent, it's just sort of like, well, it's a nice little thing, but I don't know. It just seems to be lacking in a little bit of quality.
Yeah.
But I remember when there was like, I think there was like one of the Rainbow Sixes that came out, and you could buy like their Ultimate Edition. It came with night vision goggles. And there was a Call of Duty where they released like a remote controlled car with a camera on it and a drone and stuff like that. I mean, if you want people to spend 120 quid, yeah, fine, give them something decent to go along with it. But
Halo
think
3.
about this though. Yeah, the big bloody helmet
Master Chief
thing.
helmet.
Yeah. If you said, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll have Battlefront 3, right? We'll have the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and then these new trilogies that are coming out. All of the eras, all of the vehicles. You can customise your dude, fanny around with your guns and all that kind of stuff. No more loot boxes. Everyone just earns. Best players on the field manage to get to be a hero because they're performing the best. They're working with the team the best. DLC will be free. It looks better than it's ever looked before. The sound design's amazing. All the music's there. We've got a real solid campaign. 45 quid. No microtransactions. No bullshit. That's just you get everything when you buy the game.
Yeah.
How many more people are going to buy that because there's no controversy around it, because they haven't got to worry about paying out anything else? They can just sit down and just play it together with their mates.
Well, that's the other thing. If the legislation goes through, then maybe not so much Battlefront, but especially Call of Duties and stuff, their sales are going to plummet because a lot of the people that are buying it are aged under 18.
Yeah.
And
well, to be fair, if the game is rated as an 18 plus and you're under 18 and playing it, then that's on you.
Yeah, that's down to
the parents, I suppose.
And like, I haven't got any qualms in saying it's bad parenting. It's 18 for a reason. However, I mean, like your Call of Duty and stuff aren't rated 18.
No, they're all 12. I
think they're 12,
15,
like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, if they have got these, what are they considering as gambling? You're going to have to be over 18, or in America and such countries, 21. So their sales are going to plummet. I mean, maybe not plummet, because I imagine parents will still buy them regardless. But I've got a feeling this has been a massive smack in the tits for people like EA. I mean, when I was saying earlier about that developer who was saying they need to make the money elsewhere to cover costs and whatnot, and that's fine, I agree with it. And I was like, you know what, you've changed my opinion slightly. I still disagree with it, but I understand. And then in the same article, EA do a kind of like a dream team type thing online, and it's, I think it spans across like football, like our football and American soccer, and like Madden and all like pretty much all the EA sports stuff.
Yeah.
But you use real money to buy your players and create your like dream team and whatnot. Their turnover last year was like 800 million. Just off that. That's not including sales for FIFA and for Madden and all this stuff. I was just on that. And I was
But that's
like,
because think of how many sports fans there are.
exactly.
But by the same token, think of how many Star Wars fans there are.
You
So
don't think
all
how
they-
many Star Wars fans that are actually happy with Battlefront.
No, but I mean, if you're just looking at this from the numbers point of view, you say, well, there's tons of people who are into their sports and they love their football and their basketball or whatever. But all the people who love Star Wars as well, if we can introduce a similar business model to the Star Wars license, think how much money we can make off that as well.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I mean, 100% agree, yeah. But I mean, this developer.
But I know what you mean though, because they're not exactly short of cash. But
Yeah, so
again, we don't know
there's
as
no
to how
reason
much
to.
of that is going out the door.
I imagine
um,
Disney are taking a big chunk of it.
Oh,
For-
maybe so it
well,
depends
for
on their
Star Wars,
licensing, I
anyway.
suppose. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, EA would have had to have paid a fucking bunch out in order to get the license in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Well, it'll be
Um,
like like music and stuff, isn't it? So like
Yeah,
every time a certain song is played on a TV show, where they've probably paid to use the song, but that artist is still going to get
yeah, the royalties.
royalties and stuff. So I imagine it's a similar concept.
Yeah. Possibly so. If they're getting a certain percentage of however many units sold or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It depends. I mean, on the one hand, you can say, look, we've got the license and we'll make the games, and you can either buy the games or you don't, and that's it. You can sign up for the microtransactions or you don't, and that's it. Or you say, we love Star Wars and we want to make the best Star Wars games possible, and we want everyone to enjoy Star Wars. Those two, they don't work together.
Yeah.
You can't be trying to make the perfect Star Wars game for everyone who loves Star Wars and have them enjoy it and just think, wow, aren't you guys great for making this
Yeah.
game, and charge them out the fucking arse at the same time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
It doesn't help.
Either
that-
do it and own it and just say, yeah, we're just trying to look, we spent a lot buying the license for Star Wars from Disney for these games, or renting it, or however that works out. And we need to recoup some of the costs from that, and that's why these microtransactions are there, and they are there to stay.
Yeah.
Or say, we don't believe in microtransactions. We believe that if you've bought a game, then you own the game, and everything within the game you own. So it's like this whole, it's like DLC characters for fighting games and stuff, like on the disc, but it's
Yeah.
locked behind a paywall. Like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's just like, well, I own the disc, that is my property, and yet you're restricting some of the things within it. You don't buy a car and you can't access the glove box.
It pays an extra £100 if you want to open the glove.
Oh, you want to
box.
use the spare tyre? Oh, that's an extra 500. Sorry about that.
You need to put some fuel in it. Oh, too bad. You have to
Yeah.
buy this loot box. You may or may not get a
Oh,
key to open the
you
petrol
got a road
can.
flare. Oh, sorry about that.
Let's hope
Like-
you break down.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, either be the big evil faceless corporation that people think you are and just say they're a good way of making money, we stick by
Yeah.
the business model and people enjoy the games anyway, and the more money we can make, the more of these games we can make and people can enjoy them more. Fair enough. But don't say we're doing it for the players.
Yeah.
You're not,
It's-
are you?
Well, they can't say that after obviously all this bollocks, and then like, a few weeks ago they closed down Visceral Games.
Yeah. Obviously, these comments they're not directed to the people who actually spend the time and the energy and the effort and the skill to make the games in the first place.
No, it's
because
it's
they should be
publishers.
carried through the street
Yeah.
because they're doing so bloody well. But because I work for a very, very global company, right? And the long and the short of it is that people, because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but my sort of just general job is working in complaints.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
He
problem
loves
solving.
complaining.
I love whinging. It's absolutely my favourite thing to do, and it's great. I love my job. But one of the sort of the things that people will say is just like, oh, all you do is you care about the money and you sit there, and not necessarily me personally, but they're sort of venting about the business themselves. But when you're inside that business, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you say, okay, well, I get what you mean. Yeah, we do make a hell of a lot of money. But if you also work out as to how much of that goes back out the door for you, and
Me?
how much of, well, anyone who's involved, anyone who's a customer of that
Yeah.
business, what actually remains with the business itself is less than 5%.
It's not even that though. It's what kind of business doesn't want to make money?
And I get, but that's exactly what I mean. If they just said, well, we don't understand what the issue is. This is a good way of making money. We are a business, and the more money we make, the longer we stay in business, the more games we can make.
Well, it's been working for Overwatch for the last year or so.
I know, yeah, but I mean, are there microtransactions in Overwatch?
Loot boxes.
There's loot boxes, but are they purchasable?
Yeah.
As in with real money?
With like real
With the,
life
they are.
money. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then again, but those loot boxes, though, as far as I'm aware, I don't play Overwatch, unfortunately. But as far as I'm aware,
correct us.
There's no mechanical, game-changing difference to any of those. They are just aesthetics. They're extra gold and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I think it might have. You might be able to unlock in-game currency to
get more loot boxes.
Yeah, so you could get more stuff.
But it's like
maybe
it's
even
like
upgrade weapons and stuff. But I mean, we don't play Overwatch, so
yeah. I mean,
comment.
I've seen quite a lot of Overwatch videos, but I've seen like there's new emotes, there's new skins, there's new sort of features and stuff in terms of what you look like or the voice or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't say I've ever seen one. Again, I don't know, but I can't say I've ever seen one which is like a brand new gun which does 20% more damage than someone else who maybe hasn't got that yet.
Yeah.
So even though these loot boxes are purchasable, it doesn't actually affect how you play the game. And if that's the case, fine, because then people have got no need to buy them.
They're
it's
not
a
pressured
want.
into it.
It's a want. They say, no, there are some seasonal skins out at the moment, and I want some, so I'm going to buy a couple of loot boxes. And they've just released another update or whatever for free, and I'm going to see if I can increase my chance of getting whatever the Jack Skeleton fucking pumpkin head skin is or whatever, something like that.
All these
but,
Overwatch players go, Jack Skeleton.
Yeah,
He's lied
but
to me.
it doesn't make any difference to the game because you can still be just as good or just as shit, regardless of how much somebody spent on it. And if that's the case, if it's just aesthetics, if it doesn't actually change the core gameplay, then I don't mind. You fill it with as much as you want. The more options that you give people and you make them affordable, the more likely people are to buy them. Because if it's just 50p for a sweet new costume or something, people will buy them all.
Yeah. Spend like 10 quid on it.
Yeah.
But, a couple of months ago, somebody found a patent from Activision, and it was basically for a matchmaking system that would automatically matchmake like low-ranking players with really good players. So, for argument's sake, you join a match, you're not particularly good at this particular game, and you're constantly like killed by some guy who's got like a super shit-up gun. And the premise behind it, and it's all explained on the patent, and the premise behind it being, it's going to make people just go, fuck it, I'm just going to buy this gun so I can fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And then like obviously it was on IGN, it was on GameSpot, it was like all over the place. And then Activision came out and said, we did the patent, but we've never used it. Like, you know full well you've used that for every single fucking game you've made. And it's again like businesses they're there to make money. No business doesn't want to make money. That's
and
just
no
ridiculous.
charities release games.
Yeah, and well, if a charity could do loot boxes and get away with it, they'd do it.
Yeah.
Everyone, I would. If I could just walk into work and go, I've got a box in here. If someone gives me a tenner, there might be something good in there. If you get away with it, you would do it. And it's, I do blame the rise of the smartphone. All these like your Candy Crushes and all this bollocks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I know a guy who spent £110 on a mobile game, some card thing, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Really, why? There's no need to spend that kind of money. I play Warframe. I've never put any money into it, but I did look at purchases and stuff. But the game's free, so at most I would spend up to £60 on it because it was free. If I spend that much money on it, then I've bought a game basically. But one of the in-game purchases in there is $109.99.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a lot of fucking money. And it is. I don't care where you work, how rich you are, $110.99 for content that you can never touch with your hands is a lot of money. And that's why I don't disagree with these special editions of games. So you get a pair of night vision goggles with the new Call of Duty, or you get a real life remote controlled Rocket League car or something like that. That'd be fucking ace. And stuff like that. I don't mind spending a decent amount of money on something like that because you're physically getting something for your money. The Witcher 3 had a gorgeous statue, and I was really tempted to get that, but it was like 180 quid, so I was like, no, it's not that nice. But if it is something cool and unique, then yeah, I haven't got a problem doing it. I mean, I remember spending, I think it was only like £4 more, but on Arkham City because I wanted the Steelbook edition, just because the case looked cool, but it was only a couple of quid more, so they wasn't asking for like 9 million quid for it. But I blame people being stupid on their mobiles and buying stuff just because it is so easy to buy stuff. And then I mean, even Square Enix had even said we need to look more at like mobile games in order to progress in like big AAA console and PC games, and this seems to be the way that they're going with it. Not necessarily Square Enix, but the games industry as a whole. And I know EA have come out and said we've turned off all in-game purchases for loot boxes, but they will be returning once they found a balance. And I don't think they are going to go away, if I'm honest. I think they're here to stay. I think they're going to find a somewhat decent balance where 50% of the people are still complaining about it and 50% of the people are happy with it and they're not bothered.
Well, that's the thing. I think there's a difference between happy with it and being unfazed by it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not as bothered as long as it doesn't prevent me from playing the game. I've not bought anything in a game up to yet, so it was just another one where I go, oh, that's a bit fucking shit, and I wish it wasn't there, but I'll still play it.
Yeah. Until
it gets to the point where I'll get on a mission and then it goes, you need to buy a loot box in order to progress. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
No way. I still don't agree with them I know you've got a different opinion on it, but I don't agree with them being in single player games. They have no reason to be in single player games.
No, I don't disagree with that.
No, but obviously there was a big uproar with the Shadow of War one, but you could earn the currency in game very quickly, so it's not like you were pressured into buying.
No, I've got absolutely no reason to spend money on anything other than the original purchase of Shadow of War.
Yeah,
I absolutely love Shadow of War. I'm completely obsessed with it at the moment, but it's not like it's throwing up a reminder. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, now. It's not like it's showing up. It's like, oh, don't forget there's a 40% discount this weekend. It's just like you've got to press start, and then it's like one of the last options on the menu is market. Then you go in there, and then there's no pushing us about it. Like there's just more incentive to just kill bad guys and get better and better loot as you go along, rather than or the easiest way to do it, or get loot boxes and earn like rank and stuff online, is to like keep on doing sieges and stuff. And
to actually just keep playing the game.
Yeah, but like the sieges are super fun, and you have no idea who you're going to be going up against, or what their defenses are, or what their captains are like. So you've got to make sure that your captains can offset them reasonably well. You've got to make sure your attacking forces are pretty decent, your levels are high enough, and you know what you're doing well enough in order to get in there, breach the wall, capture the points, get to the end, and then kill their overlord, which can be like way harder than it sounds. And then there's also the vendettas, where you can, if there's one particular war chief or captain who's been a bellend to someone online, keeps on killing them, and they just can't beat them, they're getting too powerful, then you can join, obviously not with them, but you can join their game. You find that captain, and then you can kill them for them. I don't think it kills them from their game. I think that would be far too convenient.
Yeah, it just you kind of get the story profit from it. in a sense.
Yeah, well, not really. It's more a case of, this is just someone who's been a particular challenge.
Oh, right. So it just makes you aware of them.
Yeah, pretty much, and their sort of specific skill sets and things. If it takes them out of the game altogether, like, so say if there's someone who's just been an absolute prick to you and he's beaten you 18 times and you can't do anything about him, and someone online who's way more powerful than you takes the vendetta and kills him and saves you from having to deal with him again, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Because eventually, one of the things that I loved about Shadow of Mordor was the fact that there was one guy who beat me once, and then he beat me again, and every time he beats you, he becomes even more
stronger.
powerful.
Yeah.
And he killed me about 8 times before I finally took him out, and god damn it, I felt fucking good about it. So if I'd have done that, and then someone had just sort of swooped in and wiped them out, I'd been really annoyed by that, because I'd have been like, I wanted him. He was my fucking guy. But if you can nominate them for an online vendetta, if you could say, this guy is doing my editing, I literally can't touch him. If anyone online can wipe him out, it's obviously a bonus for you because he's out the picture, and they get I can't remember what it's called now. It's like some sort of like XP for doing stuff online, basically.
Right.
Which I think that is what earns you loot boxes. So you can like fly around on drakes and siege castles and whatever, kill all these bad guys, and then that's what earns you the loot boxes. And in there you might get some decent orcs that you can then replace as war chiefs or whatever, So, I mean, there's tons of... I mean, there is so much to do in this game as it is, and micromanagement and, making sure that your assault things are okay. It's basically like what they were doing with the forward operating bases in Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
Phantom Pain, sorry. But it's a part of the single-player campaign. It's not just some sort of like offline mechanic that you don't really touch. You actively manage it, and you go to the region, and maybe one of the guys has decided that he's too powerful, and he's gone, actually, I'm giving the orders now, and he'll ambush you and just jump you, and then if he's got like a relationship with someone else, they'll join in because they've got an oath to him or whatever. So it's constantly changing. You really need to keep on your toes, like with all of them and stuff. But I've got no incentive, nor do I feel any pressure at all in order to purchase a loot box to get a slightly better orc.
Yeah. Who might probably get killed.
Who might get killed anyway.
Yeah.
And that's happened with like some of the things that you can get in loot box are training orders. Now they are quite rare, but it means that you can train them to do specific things, so they can have poison, or they rally their allies or whatever. And they are hard to come by. I've only found one so far, and I'm about 45 hours into it or something.
Bloody hell.
And the guy that I'd given it to, who was the overlord at the time, so he's in charge of the whole fortress, he was taken out. And that training has gone. It's not like you get it and then you can train it to whoever you want to. You get one.
Yeah.
And he was killed. And I was fucking gutted. Because I was just like, God, I trained him up so much. I watched him in the pits. He was awesome. I had him as my bodyguard, and he saved my ass. I gave him a good job because he'd earned it, and he gets his fucking head cut off.
What a bastard.
Yeah, but again, I just don't feel the need to put... I mean, if people want to, try and rinse it for all they're worth and buy 50 loot boxes and see what they get in it just to speed things up so they can have a sweet fortress straight away, fine. Let them do it. It doesn't affect my game if they do that. It's entirely up to them. I'm not all of a sudden going to come up against them in my game and they fuck me over because they're way more powerful than me.
Yeah.
Anything they do affects only their single player game. So, I mean, obviously the captains and stuff that they will win in these loot boxes are, they're epics and legendaries and whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can still find epics and legendaries within the game anyway. You just capture them. And plus, as a player, you're infinitely better than the AI as it is.
Well, yeah, that's always going to be the case.
Yeah. So it's just like no one's getting an advantage in doing them. I mean, that's what I mean. Have them in there if you want to, but no one's forcing you to buy them. Yeah. But it's not really going to make any difference other than maybe to your own game.
Yeah, that's why I don't see the point of them. Because at least with multiplayer games, the reasoning being you can get an advantage over somebody else. You can't get an advantage over yourself. You
no,
just
that's true.
Make it slightly easier on yourself, but then you don't play it. If you don't want to play the game, then don't buy it.
Yeah.
That's that's how I see it. Speaking of games and money, though, Dan, Black Friday.
Yes.
It's here. It's come around again. And the deal started early this time. I think they started about a week ago, and they're going on for 2 weeks, I believe.
Nice.
So anyway, they started early, and obviously they're in full force today. Today being Black Friday, day of recording. Anyway, have you bought anything, Dan?
No, I was actually looking at one of the Amazon Echo things. Not the dot, like the one in the middle, but not like the super premium one. But it's still like 100. No, sorry, it's like 80 quid ish, I think.
Well, they actually had there was a Sony Bravia TV. I think it was only like 43 inches or something like that. But it was 4K and all that stuff, HDR. And if you bought it that and the Amazon Echo, it was like 600 quid.
That's craziness.
I was like, that's not bad at all.
No, not at all.
Considering. Do you know how some great deals, Dan?
CD keys. Yeah.
This podcast happens to be brought to you by CD Keys.
CD keys.
We have chosen the aforementioned Star Wars Battlefront 2 as our pick of the bunch, because regardless of what is going on, it's still a good game. You can get it for $37.99, Dan.
For what, sorry?
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I think that's possibly the cheapest I've seen it.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's like Christmas is bloody come early. That's what it is, Dan. And so you can head over to CD Keys. Or if you head over to our website, www.podcastfitplay.com, click on the little CD Keys button on the right hand side. It'll take you through, and you can buy it, and you can slap on a Black Friday code and earn yourself 15% off.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all good.
In terms of the actual game itself, what do you think about Battlefront 2?
I really like it, and I've actually got it sat in a basket on CD Keys as we speak.
Oh, right, okay.
But I mean, I've only played the beta. I've heard really good things about the campaign, other than it being incredibly short.
As always.
It's about 4 or 6 hours, something like that.
Not enough.
But it's always going to have been about the multiplayer. They kind of had to do a single player campaign. But I would like... I just want a Star Wars game that's not focused on multiplayer.
Just bring back fucking Knights of the Old Republic, right? You want to talk about reinvigorating a franchise that had its time in the early 2000s? You've got Battlefront for the multiplayer. Go back to Cotter for the single player.
Yeah.
There were people who would cut their fucking legs off to get a new Cotter.
This is what annoyed me when they closed Visceral games down, because they was making, like, they had Amy Hemmings, I think her name is, who was like one of the leads on Uncharted, and she left Naughty Dog to go to Visceral, and she was making a Star Wars game, and we had a very, very, very brief look at it, and it looked like
Z3, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it looked great, and it was going to be a like single player, massive story. It was going to be good. You knew it was going to be good, and then they closed Visceral Games, so that's been canned. But they've said, they're not cancelling the game. They're going to make it into more. We don't think people want single player story games anymore, so we're going to make it into something we think the players want. So it's going to be an MMO of some kind, I imagine, something online. I reckon it's going to be their answer, like the Star Wars version of Destiny.
That's craziness, though. I mean, single player. Some of the single player games that are out at the moment are some of the most popular.
The biggest games of the year so far have all been single player games.
I imagine so. Yeah.
Including the back end of last year as well. You got your Horizon, Uncharted Lost Legacy,
even better.
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Fantastic.
The Hellblade did really well.
Oh yeah.
Even Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was like the highest selling PS4 game for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey,
Mass Effect.
Like so many
Witcher.
single play, but for fucking Witcher, fucking
Wolfenstein.
everything. I'm loving Wolfenstein 2. It's so good.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's zero fucking microtransactions in there because they go, well, we're not needed. We want to make a sweet fucking game, and they did.
Well, you know me, Dan. I would, as much as I love playing with you, I would rather play single player, heavy, like big stories, super immersive.
Absolutely, like The Witcher,
games.
and it's the same with Shadow of War to an extent as well. I'm just completely, because I can just sit there and then it'd be like, oh wait, it's 3 a.m. Where the fuck did my evening go? Because it's just completely consuming.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting frustrated because I'm going, oh god, that guy has just killed me again. He hasn't left that fucking tank.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. Anyway, if you want to buy some Black Friday stuff, Dan, I had some more things lined up, and we kind of derailed ourselves again.
Yeah, go on.
If you're looking for a brand spanking new Xbox One S, not the X, you can head over to Argos. You can grab a bundle of an Xbox One S with Minecraft Complete Adventure and Forza 7 for $179.99.
That's outrageous.
That's a great price.
I know that Amazon at the moment they've got an Xbox One S with Rocket League. It was like $229, I think.
Well, you're going to be happy with this, Dan. Well, you won't, because I don't think you'll buy one. If that is a little bit too much for you, or you don't fancy those particular games, you can grab an Xbox One S with either Minecraft, Forza Horizon 3, Shadow of War, Rocket League, or Assassin's Creed Origins for just $169.99.
That's real good.
I can't believe it, Dan.
Yeah.
It's a bloody shock, is what it is. I'm actually looking to purchase an Xbox One S to replace my original Xbox One.
Why? Because it's died of neglect.
No, it's just ugly, and I need something for a 4K TV. So I was like,
sure,
it's cheaper than the X, so that'll do.
You're not wrong.
The best PlayStation deal I've seen, for me personally, is the PlayStation VR, which is currently £100 off at 249 quid. So go get it, strap it to your face and swing wildly. You don't have to.
No, that's exactly what you do.
Yeah, well, not your mum. You don't have to do what we say. But this one now, Dan. This is. I'm not sure how good this is, but it's quite the bargain.
I'm getting bored.
Quite an odd and niche deal, but if you head over to Steam, Dan, you can buy yourself a Steam Link for your TV, which normally retails at $39.99. You can grab it for a low price of £3.99.
Wow, for me.
So it's a massive saving. And if you want the Steam controller, you can grab that for $26.79, which is down from $39.99. Or you can get them both together for £27.70.
That's pretty good.
I was umming and ahhing. I was like, I might just do it, but then I realised the Nvidia Shield has already got Steam Link built in.
So right. That would have been a waste of money.
Yeah, so I don't. Well, £4. I don't really think it's a waste. I'd recommend it to you, but I don't think your TV gets turned on. So
it does all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Not by me necessarily, but
you thought you had a different brand TV than
I've got an LG
weeks ago.
TV. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you said you had a bloody Samsung.
Yeah, I thought I did.
And then you went and checked. You're like, nope. So yeah, quite a lot of good. That's not obviously the only deals going on. There's a lot of reasonable deals. I'm not a big fan of Black Friday, to be honest, because it's a bit of a con.
Of course it is. Anyone who has ever worked in retail knows how much of a con Black Friday is.
It's ridiculous. If you don't know, we'll let you in on a secret.
Oh no, fuck it. I'm
It's gone on
finishing
too
now.
long.
We're done.
Right. What's coming up on the old channel?
I think we're going to have another game show. We've got another What's That Slang coming on
indeed.
at some point. I don't know. Is there anything we haven't played in a while? Bit of Broforce. I just saw an update on Broforce.
No,
there's any new Bro.
we did Broforce not too long ago. Yeah. We are going to do. We're going to do some Garry's Mod. We're going to do some Space Engineers.
Space Engineers.
And we are going to do Don't Rick Together.
Yes.
Because we keep saying we're going to, and we don't.
For about 2 fucking years.
So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to quickly double check. No, but what me and Zoe are going to do at some point is we are going to play. We've got the new Hitman, the complete collection, like the new episodic one. But it's actually it's all finished. The season's finished now, so you can get it all. So we did that. So we're going to fail miserably at Hitman. And probably Battlefront. Probably. Don't know.
Maybe.
Yet. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see how
as
it goes.
As and when we get it, I'm still sort of a bit.
But for the low price, that's $37.99.
I'd much rather
CD
play
keys.
original Battlefront 2 with because the online servers are up for that. I'd much rather we play that.
Nah, I want the goodness. I want to see it.
I don't want to give EA any money though. I want them to learn a fucking lesson.
That's what they're sat there just waiting. They're going, Dan hasn't bought it yet.
Oh God, did we do something wrong this time? Oh no.
Right, I'll tell you what I do want to play, Dan. What is on Dan's monitor? What is on it today?
Right, which one are you going for?
Right.
Okay, well that you'll never ever never get that. So let's have a.
It's always really prepared, this part of the podcast.
Well, they randomise. I mean, they just keep changing every few minutes or so. It's not as if I can predict as to where we're going to be in 56 minutes. Fucking Christ. Okay. Fuck it. I can't be asked. That'll do. You'll never ever get it. So
Then I don't want it then.
weird thing, just the weirdest thing that you can possibly think of, and that's what's on my screen.
Is it something real, or is it like just
No,
a
it's actually
picture from the
something real.
internet?
It is. Well, it's a picture from the internet, but it is real.
Oh. So how the fuck am I going to get that then?
Exactly. That's the beauty of it.
A bag of dicks.
No. If you can
We're
get
close.
if you can get one element of anything from this picture, you win.
Can I have any guess? Like some kind of...
Yeah, of course you can.
No.
That's the point.
Can I have some kind of clue? Sorry.
Oh right. There is a vegetable en masse.
A vegetable en masse. Is it a carrot that looks like a penis?
No. Good guess though. I like where your thinking is. That
Is
would
it-
also make me laugh.
Is oh no, I ain't got a fucking clue.
It's a small brownish, blackish kind of van that's been crushed by about 20 million potatoes.
Okay.
It's really funny because underneath it just says suddenly potatoes.
Well,
Oh God!
well, Dan picks himself up off the floor.
Potatoes, man.
I'm gonna go watch Justice League tomorrow.
I am not going to watch Justice League tomorrow.
No, he's not. Me and Zoe are, because it's our wedding anniversary weekend.
On more important news, however, we played D&D last night. Guess what we fought in D&D last night?
An owl bear.
But that's true. We did fight an owlbear, which wiped me out in one fucking hit.
See, wow,
But-
my knowledge is getting better, Dan.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well done. But there was something even more monstrous and beastly that we took on at the end of the night. What could
Was
it be?
J.K. Rowling.
No, nothing's that monstrous. Wait,
The Demigorgon.
no,
Oh. Is it Stranger Things related?
no.
That I won't know.
It's Dungeons and Dragons related.
Yeah, but all the monsters so far have been based on Dungeons and Dragons creatures.
Yeah. Well, what's the first thing you think of when you think Dungeons and Dragons?
Nerds.
And creature-wise,
Virgins.
monster-wise.
The Demigorgon, if I'm honest. A dragon.
There you go, bloody Nora. We took on a dragon, a real life
A
dragon,
real life
a
dragon.
real life one. It was a poison dragon as well.
Did you
so
win?
Only just. Fuck me.
Is it because that owlbear fucked you up?
No, I mean I'd already recovered by that point anyway. But we'd stormed up there to scare this fucking dragon away. And like you know how the sort of you have like an armor class and then that goes up to 20. So you roll the d20. So say if you've got an armor class of 10 and I've got an armor class of 12, right? So if I'm rolling to hit you, I've got to beat your armor class in order to land the hit.
Right.
So if I land the hit, then you roll the relevant dice for dealing out the damage, basically. So the higher the number, obviously the higher you are to 20, the more chance you have of beating their armor class and landing a successful strike on them. So someone rolled and got 17, right? That's out of 20. And the DM just looked at him and just went, miss.
What?
So his armor class was higher than that, so it was at least 18, which
hell.
means that you need to get an 18 in order to be able to actually hit him in the first place. So for every roll that everyone would have to do if they were trying to physically hit him, you've only got a 10% chance of hitting him.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. And he had hit points in the triple digits as well. And I've got 21 hit points.
Out of 100 or...
well, I mean, ours just go up forever, I guess. It's like level based. But
I see.
yeah, so he had there was 6 of us, and he only attacked once. He breathed like a massive, big poison cloud that hit 3 of us. The damage was halved because of some reason. I can't remember exactly the reason, but the damage was halved. I think it's because that was it. When someone attacks you, you can make a saving throw, and if you successfully hit the saving throw, it halves the damage. So they all managed to hit the saving throw, luckily, but the damage from that one attack did 39 damage to each of them. So that was halved. But if they hadn't succeeded on their saving throw, it would have knocked all 3 of them out straight away.
No.
That would have been one attack and bang, half the party's dead. But they were all the ones that use spells. So most of the spells that they're using, you don't need to hit you don't need to roll for their armor class. They just hit automatically. So if all 3 of them had gone out in one move, the only people that would have been left are all people have got a 10% chance of hitting it. And then at most, because I can roll 3 d6 dice, which is just like a normal dice. But if all 3 of those were all ones, that's only 3 damage I could do.
Okay, no.
There is no way that we would have won. If luckily we've got a good few sorcerers, some really powerful spells, and they beat the living shit out of it. But if they'd have fucked up on that saving throw, they would have all been out immediately, and we would have been butt fucked.
Fuck me. Well,
man, it was real good. Fuck me.
Dan is enjoying his D&Ds, his double Ds.
Double Ds.
We did say on the last podcast we were going to do a proper catch-up video.
Yeah, I think we need to at some point.
I was going to animate it, so we will do that. Because even though I still think it's stupid, I'm quite enjoying these little stories. And
I think
in
that's
my
because
head,
of me, though. I think I'm a real good storyteller. That's the thing.
You are the
So
new J.K. Rowling.
When I explain a film to somebody or something like that, they seem to enjoy that more than the actual film itself.
There's been a lot of times where not just you, but other people have. A good example is the what's that show I hate?
Oh, which one? Big
Sheldon.
Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, fucking hell, I was right as well.
And I hate the Big Bang Theory, and I think it's not funny and it's shit. But I've got friends who do really like it, and they'll be talking about episodes, and they'll be quoting stuff, and I'll go, that actually sounds quite funny. I'll find that episode and I'll watch it, and I've laughed along with them as they're talking about it. And then I'll go home and I'll watch it and I won't laugh. I'm like, this is shit. I hate it so much. But yeah, so we will do a D&D video. We'll animate it. We'll make it cool. And see how that goes. So
sounds good.
You can check out all the other stuff on the website, which is www.podcastversusplayer.com or .co.uk. You can follow us on Twitter at podcastversusplayer. Follow us on Instagram at podcast. Twitter is at podcastvplayer. I messed up. I'm sorry, Dan.
Boo.
Instagram is podcast versus player, and the YouTube is youtube.com / backstroke. Podcast versus player.
An inner tube you're thinking of, not
it is. It could be, yeah. And that's pretty much it. We've done over an hour, Dan. Longer than planned, longer than necessary, but I feel we we were a bit more professional, and there was no boobs or willies and stuff.
Apart from those.
Until then, we made it this far.
It's fine, you can cut that out. Oh,
did you watch the Deadpool teaser the other week?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you should watch it. It's really good.
I will do. Don't you worry about it.
It's only like 25 seconds, but it's very funny. So yeah, bye.